Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you are enjoying the entire Python tutorial series. In this video, we'll talk about string and why they are immutable and what does it mean to be immutable and how does it affect you as a Python programmer. What's in this video? Before going to the content of the video, we'll talk about prerequisites. Uh, if Let me tell you, this video is part of the entire Python tutorial series. It's good to watch all of the previous videos before coming to this video. If you're unsure about your uh, your understanding about Python, you can go back, you can go to the description of this video and find out the prerequisites section where I have mentioned all the prerequisites for this video. You can also go to the playlist section of this channel where you can click on Python tutorial series and the entire playlist will start playing for you. All right. Uh, then we'll talk about equal operator versus is operator. So what are those operator in Python? What do they do? And we'll compare both of them. How Python reuses the string objects. Then we'll show a small program to demonstrate that string objects are reused. Why strings are immutable and how to make Python to create different objects for the equal strings. So this is a very tricky program. I would really recommend to watch this video till this program. This is very important, and you might not find this program anywhere else probably. Then summary: equal operator versus is operator. Uh, let's create a string object str1 equal to old monk. And when you write this instruction, what happens in the background is an object is created in the memory old monk, right? And some address is assigned to it. 1000 is address, for example. This actual address looks something different, but for simplicity, let's consider 1000 is a address of this object. And then str1 is created, uh, which stores the actual address of your object. So when str1 stores 1000, you can say str1 points to your objects. Okay. Now when you write str2 equal to old monk, a different object should be created and its address is different because it's a different object, right? 2000 is address, for example. Then str2 will store 2000 and you can say str2 points to this new object. Now if you write str1 equal str2, that will check the content of the two variables, two objects. So content is same, both of them store the same string. So meaningfully str1 is equal to str2. That's why equal operator will return true when you compare str1 equal str2 because it checks equality of the objects. It looks for meaningful comparison. So though these are two different objects, those are meaningfully equal. Now when you say str1 is str2, when you use is operator, it actually checks for the address which is stored in str1 and str2. So str1 is 1000, str2 has 2000 address. So both of them at the address are different. So when you say str1 is str2, it will return you false. So basically str1 and is str2 is operator will check if the object are different or not. See, even if the objects are meaningfully equal, those are two different objects. So is operator will return you false. Equal operator checks the equality of the object. When you say str1 equal str2, it will compare the content of str1 and str2. Is operator checks if the objects are same or not. When you say str1 is str2, it will check the address of both the object. So if str1 and str2 points to the same object, it will return true. If str1 and str2 points to different object, it will return false. uh, I'll tell you how Python reuses the string objects. So when you say str1 equal to old monk, again a same object is created in the memory, and the address of that object is stored in str1. Now when you write str2 equal to old monk, Python is lazy. It will say old monk, this kind of object already exists in the memory, why to create new one? So use existing object. It will say str2 is equal to 1000. So basically, when you create a string object, Python will try to reuse them. So str1 and str2 will both point to same object. Okay. So now if you write str1 equal to equal str2, you will get true. And when you write str1 is str2, it will also return you true because those are same objects. You can try this with the same program. See, I created two objects str3 and str4, and we have used str3 is str4, and we have done a comparison with equal operator as well, and both of them return true. You can see this here, both the objects return true here. So both the comparison operators return true because those are not only meaningfully equal, those object point to the same, those variable point to the same object. Okay, but now let's imagine str1 and str2 are pointing to the same object, and you want to modify str1. So you are writing str1, you want to modify the character at first index, at index 1 in str1. So when you say str1 of 1 equal to L, capital L, instead of small l you are making it capital L, and then you say str1 of 2 equal to capital D, instead of small d you are using capital D. So what will happen? The changes will happen actually on the object, right? Now it's capital old monk, right? But the trick is when you modify str1, the changes are also being reflected in str2, right? Now if you print str2, what will happen? It will print capital old and then monk, right? This should not happen. This is wrong, man. If you modify one object, it should not impact the other object, right? That's why this modification is not allowed in Python. Once you create a string object, it cannot be modified in its lifetime, and that's why we call a string as immutable. Once the string object is created, it cannot be altered or updated. String objects are immutable. Now, if string objects are immutable, how to change or manipulate strings then? Stay tuned on the next slide. Python reuses the string objects, and they are pointing to the when you create str1, str2 with same string, it will point to the same object. But let me tell you, this object part is immutable. This variable str1, str2, these can be changed. So changes are not allowed in this part. You cannot modify string object, but string str1, str2 can have different values. So str2 can store uh, different address. So if you want to modify str2, say for example you write str2 equal to str2 equal to kingfisher, so it will create a different object with different address, and address of the new object will be stored in str2, right? So changes are possible here in the reference variable str1 and str2. Changes are not allowed in the objects. So when you have a string object, you want to modify it, create a different object and assign it to uh, your reference variable. And all these things happen in the background, you don't need to worry about it, but you should know the concept. That's why we want to learn it. But otherwise you don't need to actually in normal programming you don't need to worry about it. It will uh, it will happen automatically inside. Now a very important part of this tutorial program, a simple program, it will demonstrate how to make Python to create different object for the same string. So say for example you have as old monk, the string is same, but I want a different object for str3 and str4. For that I would recommend create str1 equal to old, str2 equal to monk. So it will create one object, two object, right? So instead of writing old monk here, what I will do is str1 plus str2. So it will create two objects, old and monk, and then it will concatenate them and assign it to uh, string uh, str3. Uh, so in this way, you can trick Python to create a different object for old monk. Actually, the string is same, but the object will be different. Object will be different. Let's see. So in earlier case, if you observe, see the output is true true for both S3 and uh, for both is operator and equal equal operator. It has written true. But now if we run this program, it returns false for is. Do you understand this? str3 is not str4, means str3 and str4 are different object, but those are meaningfully equal. The second statement returns you true. So that's how we trick Python to create a different object for the same string. And all these things are happen internally, and it depends on the implementation. So you actually don't need to worry about it. Probably this program might give a different output on different interpreter. All right. Summary of this video. What did we learn in this video? We talked about uh, the immutability. We talked about equal equal operator and is operator, and we also see why the immutability is needed in string, and how it impacts your program. All the programs in this video will be uploaded in Git, and the link to Git repository will be mentioned in the description. uh, I'll also provide some exercises over this video. Please go through description and try to write some program on your own, and if you find it difficult, let me know in comment section. I'll make videos for them. Like the video, that will inspire us to make some more videos in the future. Comment and let me know how like did you like this video or not, and what in this video you find it helpful and what's not. And subscribe to the channel because that will help us grow on YouTube. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.